Motorcycles, cars, music, three things that I grew up in, and I'm blessed enough to be able to continue.
What if I told you that behind the shiny cars and happy faces of counting cars, there were employees so bad that they nearly destroyed everything Danny Koker worked for? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the 5 worst team members who ever stepped foot in Count's Customs. Some of these stories will shock you, and one involves a theft that cost the shop tens of thousands of dollars. Let's dive into the dark side of reality TV that the cameras never showed you. Danny Koker didn't start as a TV star. He grew up in Detroit, the heart of America's car world, where muscle cars roared down every street. His dad was a musician who toured with famous groups, but he also loved cars. That passion passed down to young Danny like a family tradition. While other kids played video games, Danny was under the hood of old cars, bringing them back to life with his own 2 hands. In the early 1990s, Danny moved to Las Vegas with big dreams. He became a local TV personality called Count Cool Rider, where he dressed like a rock and roll vampire and introduced old horror movies to late-night viewers. It sounds crazy, but it made him a small celebrity in Vegas. But cars were always his real love. He opened Count's Customs to work on his own collection, and word spread fast about his incredible builds. Danny didn't just fix cars. He transformed them into rolling works of art. Everything changed when the Pawn Stars crew started calling Danny whenever they needed an expert on cars and motorcycles. His knowledge and charm made him a fan favorite, and TV producers took notice. In 2012, Counting Cars was born, and it became an instant hit. Millions of viewers tuned in every week to watch Danny and his team bring old vehicles back to life. But success came with a price Danny never expected. Fame changed everything at the shop. Tourists started showing up every day, wanting pictures and autographs. The quiet family atmosphere disappeared as the pressure of TV production took over. Some employees couldn't handle the spotlight, while others let it go to their heads. What looked smooth on TV was actually filled with stress, long hours, and growing tensions that would eventually explode. The first shock came from someone most viewers never even saw on screen. His name was Joseph Frontiera, and he worked as the shop's bookkeeper. That means he handled all the money, paid the bills, and managed the finances. Danny trusted him completely, which made what happened next even more devastating. Joseph wasn't just making mistakes with the books. He was stealing. Over $75,000 disappeared from Count's Customs, and Joseph used that money to pay for his own luxury lifestyle. He bought himself a Range Rover, paid for expensive trips, and even forged Danny's signature to cover his tracks. This wasn't some small error or misunderstanding. This was calculated theft from someone who was supposed to protect the shop's money. When Danny discovered what was happening, he was furious and heartbroken. This wasn't just about money. It was about trust. Joseph had looked Danny in the eye every day while stealing from the business that employed him. The betrayal cut deep because Danny always treated his employees like family. In 2016, Count's Customs took Joseph to court. They didn't just sue him, they also went after the staffing agency that hired him, claiming they failed to do a proper background check. The case became public, and fans were shocked when they learned the truth about why Joseph had quietly disappeared from the show. He didn't leave for better opportunities or creative differences. He left because he got caught stealing. After the lawsuit, Joseph vanished completely. No social media, no interviews, no public appearances. It's like he disappeared off the face of the earth. His actions left lasting scars on the shop. Danny became much more careful about who he trusted with important responsibilities, and the whole team had to adjust to tighter security around money and paperwork. Joseph's theft was bad enough, but the next employee caused problems in a completely different way. Scott Jones was the shop manager and one of the first faces viewers saw when Counting Cars began. He helped with the books and made sure everything stayed organized and on schedule. While Danny was the creative genius, Scott was the practical voice trying to keep costs under control. Scott had a strong personality and wasn't afraid to speak his mind. He would challenge Danny's wild ideas, question expensive purchases, and remind everyone about budgets and deadlines. This created a lot of tension that viewers could see on screen. Danny wanted to push creative boundaries, while Scott wanted to protect the bot. Tom Line. Their clashes became a regular part of the show's early seasons. Some fans found their back and forth entertaining, like watching two stubborn friends argue about money. Others felt it created real division in the shop. Danny clearly had one vision, while Scott had another. The tension was real, and it showed in almost every episode during those first 2 years. Then suddenly, Scott was gone. There was no dramatic exit, no big argument shown on camera, no goodbye speech. One day he was there managing builds and crunching numbers, and the next day his spot was empty. Fans immediately started asking questions and creating their own theories about what happened. Rumors spread online that Scott was fired for financial problems, or that he had a major falling out with Danny. Some people thought there was secret drama behind the scenes that the cameras never captured. But the real truth was actually much simpler and less exciting than the rumors suggested. Scott moved to Tennessee for personal reasons. He wanted to be closer to his family, and the decision had nothing to do with money problems or workplace drama. Sometimes people leave good jobs because life priorities change, and that's exactly what happened here. Scott didn't storm out in anger or get fired for bad behavior. He just decided that family was more important than being on TV. Since leaving the show, Scott has stayed busy in the car world. He opened his own business called Koker's Extreme Automotive in Tennessee and even appeared on Netflix's Swap Shop, another show about cars and collectibles. He's still doing what he loves, just in a different place and without the TV cameras following him around. Scott might not have been everyone's favorite cast member because of his serious attitude about money, but he played an important role during the show's early success. He was the voice of reason when everyone else wanted to go crazy with expensive builds. His quiet exit showed that not every departure from reality TV involves scandal or betrayal. But our next story is different. It involves someone fans absolutely loved until they found out what really happened. Rolley Sabo was one of the most beloved cast members from seasons 2 through 6. He worked as the shop's lead detailer, which meant making every car look absolutely perfect before it left Count's Customs. But Rolley wasn't just known for his work skills. What made Rolley special was his huge personality. He had a thick Hungarian accent and an even bigger smile. He was always cracking jokes, dancing around the shop, and keeping everyone's spirits up during long, stressful days. He brought joy to the workplace and made even the hardest jobs feel fun. Viewers loved watching him because he felt genuine and happy, never fake or forced. But don't think Rolley was just there for entertainment. He was a perfectionist when it came to detailing cars. Whether it was a custom lowrider worth hundreds of thousands of dollars or a rare classic car, Rolley made sure every single inch was spotless and gleaming. His attention to detail matched his big personality, and both Danny and the crew respected his skills. By season 4, Rolley had become a true fan favorite. Viewers shared his funniest moments on social media and talked about how much they enjoyed watching him work. He was one of those rare cast members who made the show more enjoyable without ever feeling like he was trying too hard. His laughter was real, his work was excellent, and his friendship with the crew seemed genuine. Then in 2017, something unexpected and disappointing happened. Thousands of dollars worth of professional detailing equipment went missing from the shop. These weren't just basic tools you could buy anywhere. This was expensive, specialized equipment that professional detailers need to do their jobs properly. And right around the same time the equipment disappeared, so did Rolley. He vanished from the show without any warning or explanation. One week he was there polishing cars and making everyone laugh, and the next week his spot was empty. There was no goodbye scene, no mention of why he left, just silence. For fans who had grown to love Rolley's energy and personality, his sudden disappearance was confusing and sad. Word eventually spread that the missing equipment might have been connected to Rolley's exit. While Count's Customs never made an official public statement about exactly what happened, the timing raised serious questions. Many fans refused to believe that their beloved Rolley could be involved in anything dishonest, while others were simply heartbroken to lose one of their favorite cast members. Rolley didn't disappear from the car world entirely, though. He stayed in Las Vegas and opened his own detailing business called Rock and Rolley Custom Detailing. He continues doing the same high-quality work he was known for on the show, and his business has built a loyal following. He's still working with cars and staying close to the world he knows best. The missing equipment incident was just the beginning of Danny's growing trust issues with his crew. But the next departure hurt even more because it involved losing one of the shop's most talented builders. Shannon Icow was never the loudest person in the room. He didn't tell jokes like Rolley or argue about budgets like Scott. But when it came to building custom motorcycles, Shannon was in a class by himself. Shannon was calm, focused, and incredibly skilled. Every weld he made and every bike he touched carried his personal mark of quality. He was a true artist who cared deeply about his craft. As the lead motorcycle builder on Counting Cars, Shannon helped create some of the most beautiful and memorable bikes ever featured on the show. His work was clean, bold, and creative. He never rushed through a project or cut corners to save time. Instead, he built motorcycles with soul, machines that looked just as amazing as they performed on the road. Whether it was a low-slung chopper, a powerful street cruiser, or a tribute bike with deep personal meaning, Shannon poured his heart into every build. While other cast members grabbed attention with loud personalities and dramatic moments, Shannon was quietly in the background making sure every job was done perfectly. Fans appreciated his steady hands and soft-spoken approach. He was the kind of craftsman who let his work speak for itself, rather than trying to become a TV star. From the early seasons of Counting Cars, Shannon was one of the most reliable and consistent crew members. He was always there, always building, and always producing top-quality results. His calm style stood out in a shop full of big personalities and dramatic moments. He was the kind of person who made everyone around him better at their jobs. But as the show grew more popular and successful, things started to change in ways that didn't sit well with Shannon. By season 7, fans began noticing that he was appearing less and less frequently. His screen time dropped significantly, and some episodes barely showed him at all. By the next season, he had mostly faded away from the spotlight. There was no big fight or dramatic confrontation. No scene where Danny explained what was happening or where Shannon said goodbye to the crew. He just slowly disappeared from the show, leaving fans wondering what had happened to one of their favorite builders. The real reason for Shannon's departure came down to creative differences with the direction the show was taking. As Counting Cars became more successful, the producers started focusing more on drama and storytelling rather than the actual craft of building vehicles. There were more arguments, more staged tension, and more over-the-top moments designed to boost ratings and keep viewers entertained. This shift toward manufactured drama didn't match Shannon's personality or values. He had built his entire career around genuine craftsmanship and honest work. He wasn't interested in playing a character or getting involved in fake conflicts for the sake of television entertainment. He wanted to build great motorcycles and stay focused on the quality that had made him respected in the custom bike world. As the cameras became more interested in stories and less interested in actual builds, Shannon found himself less comfortable being part of the show. His quiet, professional style clashed with the fast-paced, drama-filled world that Counting Cars was becoming. Instead of complaining publicly or causing problems behind the scenes, Shannon made a different choice. He decided to step away quietly and with dignity. There was no public statement, no blame game, and no bitter feelings that were shared with the media. Shannon simply moved on to focus on what he truly loved. And he didn't stop building beautiful motorcycles. Today, Shannon Icow is still very active in the Las Vegas custom motorcycle scene. He continues designing and building bikes with the same care, skill, and attention to detail he's always been known for. He may no longer be on television, but his reputation in the custom world remains strong. People who know motorcycles still recognize his name and seek out his work. His bikes still turn heads and win respect from fellow builders and riders. In many ways, Shannon represents a different kind of success story, one that values craft over fame and substance over spotlight. Shannon's departure showed that not every exit from reality TV involves scandal, theft, or bitter arguments. Sometimes talented people just decide that staying true to their values is more important than staying on camera. Fans still talk about Shannon, and many believe the show lost something important when he quietly walked away. Not every departure from counting cars ended in lawsuits, missing equipment, or behind-the-scenes drama. Shannon's story is different because it's about maintaining integrity and staying true to your passion even when the entertainment world tries to pull you in different directions. He brought balance, class, and genuine talent that didn't need loud words or wild stories to be impressive. But our final story shows what happens when ego, creativity, and business pressures collide in ways that nobody saw coming. Mike Henry, better known to fans as Horny Mike, was absolutely impossible to ignore. With his signature horned helmet, wild mohawk hairstyles, and bold personality, he brought color, energy, and endless entertainment to counting cars. But Mike wasn't just a walking cartoon character created for television. He was a serious artist with real talent and a unique style. Mike worked as the lead airbrush artist at Count's Customs, and his job was to transform ordinary cars, motorcycles, and helmets into extraordinary works of art. While other crew members focused on mechanics, bodywork, and restoration, Mike brought the final magical touch that made each vehicle truly special. Flames, skulls, detailed murals, metallic fades, his artwork could transform a simple car into something absolutely unforgettable. Before joining the show, Mike had years of experience in custom paint and three-dimensional sculpting. This background gave him a creative edge that Danny Koker immediately recognized and appreciated. Danny gave Mike room to express his artistic vision, and for several years, their partnership worked beautifully. Mike's design stood out from anything else on television, and fans eagerly waited to see what wild and creative idea he would come up with next. Mike quickly became one of the most recognizable faces on counting cars. His outfits, distinctive voice, and incredible artwork made him a true fan favorite. He brought humor and personality to every episode while also delivering serious artistic results. But underneath all the fun and entertainment was a man who cared deeply about his craft and often spent extra hours perfecting every detail. However, working inside a business like Count's Customs while being filmed for national television wasn't always easy, especially for someone with strong creative opinions. Mike had bold ideas and wanted to push artistic boundaries in ways that sometimes didn't match what Danny had in mind for the business. Over time, creative disagreements started happening more frequently. Mike wanted complete freedom to experiment with wild colors, unusual textures, and boundary-pushing designs that would showcase his artistic abilities. Danny, as the shop owner responsible for the brand's reputation, sometimes needed cleaner, more commercially appealing looks that would satisfy customers and maintain the shop's professional image. Both men cared deeply about the work, but they didn't always agree on the best approach. These creative differences created tension between two talented individuals who both wanted the best results but had different ideas about how to achieve them. Mike's artistic vision was bold and experimental, while Danny needed to balance creativity with business realities and customer expectations. When you mix strong personalities with high stakes and television pressure, conflict becomes almost inevitable. On top of the creative challenges, Mike started feeling the weight of television production schedules. TV deadlines are extremely tight and don't allow for the natural creative process that produces the best artwork. You can't always wait for inspiration to strike when cameras are rolling and episodes need to be completed on schedule. Great airbrush work requires time, patience, and the freedom to make adjustments and improvements. The process of blending colors, layering paint, and getting every image exactly right can take hours or even days. But television production operates on much faster timelines that don't always allow for the careful, methodical approach that creates truly exceptional art. This pressure started wearing on Mike as he tried to balance his artistic standards with the demands of reality TV production. As the seasons progressed, Mike began stepping back from his prominent role on the show. His screen time decreased noticeably, and he stopped appearing in every episode. Even when he did show up, his role seemed smaller and less central to the action than it had been in earlier seasons. Fans noticed the change immediately and began wondering if something had gone wrong between Mike and the rest of the team. Some viewers thought Mike had left the shop entirely or had been fired due to conflicts behind the scenes, but the truth was more nuanced than a simple departure. Mike didn't leave in anger or get fired for bad behavior. Instead, he gradually shifted his focus toward building his own independent artistic career while maintaining some connection to Count's customs. Today, Mike runs his own successful business called Horny Mike Designs, where he creates custom airbrushed artwork, helmets, and accessories for clients around the world. He still works on motorcycles and cars, but does so under his own brand name and creative control. He makes regular appearances at car shows, fan events, and even guest spots on other television programs. He remains very active and respected in the world of custom automotive art. Even though Mike moved toward independence, he hasn't completely severed his relationship with Count's customs. He still occasionally helps with special projects and contributes when his specific skills are needed. There's no bad blood or bitter feelings, just a shift in focus that allows him to pursue his artistic vision without the constraints of regular television production. Mike Henry's story demonstrates what happens when a true artist works within the fast-moving, high-pressure environment of reality television. He brought incredible style, unforgettable visual flair, and genuine artistic talent to Counting Cars during some of its most popular years. But staying true to his artistic integrity eventually meant stepping back from the spotlight to focus on work that fulfilled his creative soul. Fans still remember Mike's wild-horned helmets, bold artistic designs, and energetic personality. His contributions helped shape Counting Cars during its peak years, and his artwork left a lasting visual impact that's still hard to miss when watching old episodes. His transition from television cast member to independent artist shows that success can be measured in many different ways. From embezzlers who stole thousands of dollars to artists who needed creative freedom, these 5 former employees shaped Counting Cars in ways that fans will never forget. Some exits were messy and involved legal action. Others were quiet and dignified, but all of them left their mark on the show and on Danny Koker's business. Joseph Frontiera's theft betrayed the trust that Danny placed in his employees and forced the shop to implement much stricter financial controls. Scott Jones brought practical business sense during the early years, but ultimately chose family over fame when his priorities changed. Rolley Sabo entertained millions of fans with his humor and skill until missing equipment led to his mysterious disappearance from the show. Shannon Icow created some of the most beautiful motorcycles ever featured on television, but quietly walked away when the show's focus shifted from craftsmanship to manufactured drama. And Mike Henry brought unforgettable artistic flair and visual creativity before deciding that independent work better served his artistic vision than television production schedules. Each of these stories reveals something important about the reality behind reality TV. Success and fame can change people and relationships in unexpected ways. The pressure of television production, the temptation of money and recognition, and the challenge of balancing personal integrity with business demands all played roles in these departures from Count's customs. Danny Koker learned hard lessons about trust, loyalty, and the price of success through these experiences. Building a television empire isn't just about creating great content and entertaining audiences. It's also about managing personalities, protecting your business, and making difficult decisions about the people you work with every day. Want to know more shocking behind-the-scenes stories from your favorite reality shows? There are so many secrets that television doesn't want you to discover. Make sure to hit that like button if this video opened your eyes to what really happens when the cameras stop rolling. Share it with friends who love counting cars and want to know the truth about their favorite cast members. And don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss our latest videos revealing what TV doesn't tell you. Trust me, we've got plenty more shocking stories coming your way that will change how you watch your favorite shows forever.